All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Soul of the Skull. We have got me, Sam Z, and Matt. Sam O is coming. He's not quite here yet, but he is making his way to the stream to join us. Big Lou, we won't be seeing him for a bit. He's off to basic serving our country. So shout out to Big Lou, being a man of the people. So he'll be back. I think he said early August he'll be back. So it'll be a couple months, and then he will be back to talk Vikings again. And that'll be a good old time. But we are all here today. The Vikings schedule came out last week. We haven't filmed an episode in a bit, but we're early boys today. Earliest episode we've ever filmed before. It's 9:34 a.m. Central. Never filmed one this early until today. But with that said, we are going to be looking through the Vikings schedule today, and we're going to pick game by game and whatnot. And then we've got some predictions at the end of the show. So with that said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull up the spreadsheet. We're going to show the schedule, and then we can just share some thoughts about the schedule, that kind of stuff. And then eventually we're going to go through and pick it. So here is the schedule right here typed out in the spreadsheet. This is last year's, and this was our schedule one we made. Me, Sam, and Big Lou were on that episode. Sam Z, because there was no Sam O yet at the time. Matt was on that. I believe, Matt, I think you were a guest on that episode. That was before you were like a full-time member. That was when you came in for the one episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a couple without you. And then we were like, yeah, we're just going to join you because you're cool. So,
Aww.
I know. That was exactly how those conversations and text messages went.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that was a good sum of how it went down. Should we add him? Yeah. All right, let's add him to the group chat. We'll take him. So that's that. So here is their schedule right here. It's pretty interesting, pretty brutal opening to it. They've got a mistake on here. I don't know if that was me or someone else, but that's supposed to be at the New York Giants. So, whoa. Why is it bugging? How'd that happen?
I think you literally have to type at.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I did it for all of them down there, so I must. Doesn't let you use the at symbol. All right. We'll put it on all these ones. So, yeah. They start the season on the road against Daniel Jones, the reincarnation of Kirk Cousins. And then they've got some toughies against the Niners and the Texans, followed by a trip to Lambeau, followed by a trip to London against the Jets. Then it's their bye week. Then they come home to face the Lions Thursday night in LA against the Rams. Then they host Anthony Richardson and the Colts before going on a 3-game road trip to Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Chicago, followed by a 3-game homestand against Arizona, Atlanta, and Chicago. Then they head out to the Pacific Northwest, come back home against the Packers, and close the season in Detroit. So my early takeaway, I guess, is just this schedule is honestly pretty brutal looking at it, especially the opening. But the thing I think is, you can say what you want about the schedule and you can complain that they didn't get a good schedule. But to me, this isn't a Super Bowl all-in year for the Vikings. To me, this is a transition year where we transition from Kirk Cousins to J.J. McCarthy, whether it's the beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year, next year, whatever it is. So to me, it's not this team has to go 13-4 and make a run because they're not at that stage right now. If they go 8-9, I'm not going to feel bad about it. One other thing I'll say, if they go 8-9 and JJ McCarthy looks like a bum, okay, that's kind of a problem. If they go 8-9, but he shows flashes during the year, okay, I take that as a successful year because you did your goal, which was test out the new guy and transition. So yeah, to me, this is more of a transitional year, and I'm not really about going all in for this year. So the fact that the schedule is difficult doesn't affect me at all. I'm okay with that. And it's got some opportunities to put JJ McCarthy in, and maybe it means a better draft pick next year, just saying. So that's kind of what I think about this is I'm not worried about it. I'm fine with this. Okay, looks like the boys agree. So with that said, let's think about where do we want to take this now. I was going to say we can do our predictions and game by game and stuff. I didn't know if we wanted to wait for Samo. We can just do it without him. he'll hop on eventually, and we can add him on. So we're just gonna start. Big Lou is on here because I made this a while ago, so I forgot he wouldn't be on here. So we can ignore his category. If Big Lou is here, actually, this is what it would look like. Right there. If we look at last year, Big Lou said they'd go 12-5, and they proceeded to go 7-10. So we're gonna leave the Big Lou with the green here because that seems pretty accurate with what he would pick. So with that said, unless anyone has anything, I think we can go through game by game, talk a little about it, make our picks. Boom. I think that's kind of how we did it last year. We can do pretty much that same formula again this year. So as we open the season, the Vikings head out to New Jersey to face the New York Giants. The Giants are not that good of a team, but this could be a bit of a trap game that they're trying to trap the Vikings off guard. Still could be a close game. I think it probably will be a close game because it's the season opener. You don't know what to expect. I guess I will lead the first one off. I don't think this is going to be a blowout at all. The Giants aren't that good of a team, but they did get better. But they have their whole quarterback kerfuffle. I'm going to take the Vikings to win this one.
Yeah, Joel, I'm with you on that. I think the Vikings are going to take this win here just simply because I think if anyone's going to fall victim to the trap game, it's going to be the Giants. They're going to see the Vikings with the rebuilding quarterback situation. We just got a new running back, so who knows how our running back game is going to be. And they're thinking, we just got this offensive weapon in Malik Neighbors. So I think that the Giants, seeing that they beat us in the playoffs last year, or 2 years ago, are going to see this as an easy win for them when, in fact, the Vikings will take it home.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. Give me the Vikings. My spreadsheet won't open, so
I got you. I can do it for you.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, they lose Saquon Barkley and they replace him with Devin Singletary. You got a quarterback that isn't good, making a lot of money. My pick before the draft, Malik Neighbors to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. You can already read that. He ended up going to the worst situation possible. But yeah, I just feel like this is a game to set the tone for this season. This is maybe the time to overreact on J.J. McCarthy if he does well and give false optimism. But hopefully we start the season 1-0.
So good one to start the season. And then after this, okay, here's the one thing I'll say. I have not picked the schedule at all. I haven't done wins and losses. I've looked at it, but I haven't done that. So this is going to be my first raw picking of it. I don't know if you guys have at all yet for anything.
It's the first time I've ever seen it. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my first time picking it. So I haven't done wins and losses at all. So this is authentic, not I thought of these a half hour ago. I am actually doing these on the spot. So that's that. But with this is where the schedule I think gets pretty brutal. So next, the Vikings have 2 games at home. The first one is against the Niners, who just represented the NFC in the Super Bowl. I'm going to start it off by saying this is going to be an L for the Vikings. The Niners are just simply better. Early in the season, if it was later in the season, maybe the Vikings would have a better chance against him. But early in the season, the Vikings are still kind of figuring it all out. The Niners are just simply the better team. They're going to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, we did beat them last year. I'm still going with the loss for the Vikings, though, just because the Niners are easily, maybe not easily, but they are currently the best team in the NFC. If not, the Eagles could be this coming year with the addition of Saquon Barkley, but currently the Niners are the best team in the NFC. The Vikings, in a roundabout way, may not have gotten a lot better in the offseason, so we'll see how this one pans out, but I think this isn't even going to be close.
Yeah, let's just make this a clean sweep. You guys hit all the talking points. Hopefully, for the sake of a Vikings fan, we keep it close and we can show we can be competitive against the big dogs.
Mm-hmm. Surprisingly, Matt here actually picked, where was it? He picked the Niners to win last year.
What do you mean
the Vikings?
surprisingly?
Excuse me.
Oh, it's such logic.
No, at the time, that was a horrible selection.
Whatever.
Then
I was the only one to pick Green Bay too, so.
Yeah, I was going to say you picked that one correct too. And then Your schedule actually isn't all that bad.
They didn't turn out well. But
Loss, win. Nope, loss. They started. Wait, did they start 0-3?
they did.
They started 0-3, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they lost that one. Won. Lost. Then
They lost at Chicago, didn't they? Or did they sweep Chicago?
They
lost
won
at
at
home.
Chicago, lost when they were at home.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then, yeah, they won. They won that one because that was the Josh Dobbs era of
And
Vikings
football. 2
football.
losses.
We have a special guy here, Sam O. He's here. He has showed up.
Never.
Excited to see you early on this morning here.
Put a hat on.
So we were just giving our initial thoughts on the Viking schedule. I see you have a Twins hat. I kind of love how the Twins are becoming the forgotten team of Minnesota because A, they're not that good, and B, like 80% of the state can't even watch their games right now. So
I know.
they've just become the forgotten team.
Mhm.
Can you watch the Twins games? Because I can't here. So
No, I get YouTube TV, so
I know Matt. I talked to Matt in person, I think a couple weeks ago, or maybe that was last week, and you said you could watch them still because you were directly through Valley Sports. So, but pretty much everyone else can't watch anything on that channel right now. So that's that. So we're just looking at the Vikings schedule a little bit and talking about Big Lou and how he's being such a great man and serving this country. And then we just started this, so that's that. So we're only a couple games in. Big Lou, if he was here, he would have picked him all green because he's Big Lou. Even the bye week, I just realized. Because Big Lou. So he would have picked him all green because that's what he did last year. I had him at 12-5. They went 7-10. So if you want, you can just kind of talk about the first couple games. I mean, we kind of hit the talking, but if you want to do your own analysis and spin, you can do that, of course. And then we'll pick right back up on week 3 here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Giants is pretty self-explanatory. It should probably be a win, unless there's a big collapse or something like a Chicago Josh Dobbs game collapse. San Francisco, obviously coming off a Super Bowl appearance, they're going to be a tough team to beat, and we already beat them last year, so it's going to be a tough team to beat 2 years in a row. So, yeah, I think we start out 1-1.
Perfect. Wonderful. So then the Vikings come back home. They play Houston. Houston's a tough team. They added Stephon Diggs. Sometimes I still forget about that. Then I heard about it again the other day. I was like, I feel like no one talks about that. The fact that Stephon Diggs got added by the Texans. Good player, not as much of a good person, but he's a good player. So good addition there. They got CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, all the guys. They're a really good team. So I'm going to give the Vikings a loss here as well, especially if Sam Darnold is their starter. I'm not expecting huge things out of him. I also don't think he's going to be a train wreck either because this is the best situation he's ever been put in, but I can't see him being Kirk Cousins. So I'm going to give this a loss. The Texans are, at least on paper, definitely the better team. They've got a good team on paper, the Texans. So we'll see if they can put it all together and make it work.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Joel. I think, with CJ Stroud at quarterback and they got Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, there's just not a whole lot that you can do to stop an offense like that. Plus their defense is elite with Will Anderson at the front. So there's just not a whole lot you're going to be able to do against a team that good.
I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of repetitiveness. I feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm going to go a 1-2 start here as well. I think the Texans are in that Super Bowl window with a quarterback on a rookie contract, and you have all that cap space to sign players and trade for guys like Diggs. So I think this is kind of one of the years they're trying to really go at this thing. So
the Texans are like the perfect template right now. If the Vikings could follow, and they're kind of trying to do that, if they can follow and execute, of course, but what the Texans are doing, they seem like they're just doing it right. They know what they're doing, and yeah, so good for the Texans. Then the Vikings head out to Lambeau to face the Packers. I could say that they're 1-2. Kevin O'Connell's going to get at them and say they need to win this game, but on the road, I think the Packers are honestly just a better team. Tough to do this to them, but I'm going to give them a 1-3 start. Packers are, at this point, in my eyes, a better team than the Vikings, and on the road too.
Playing the Packers at Lambeau is always a really tough game, so I'm going to take a Vikings L here as well. There's just the NFC North is just so loaded this year. There's just not a whole lot that the Vikings are going to be able to do in the conference.
Give me the Vikings to win this game. You know, they went into Lambeau last year. I was looked at as stupid for picking it, and hopefully the same logic that I use comes into effect this time around. You go and play a rival at Lambeau Field. You spoil Jordan Love's perfect season to this point. You know, get him rattled. You know, hopefully the Vikings just win.
I'm also going to pick the Vikings in this game. I think it's a division game, which means anything can happen. The Vikings have played pretty much every single division game close during Kevin O'Connell's time. I can only remember 2 of them where they really spun out of sorts. But I think the Vikings go in. Sam Darnold plays well, and Aaron Jones gets some revenge on his former team.
Perfect. I'm trying to remember what the other one was, because the one was the New Year's Eve Packers game. The other one would have been
Packers game the year before that. 41-17.
Oh, was that the one when they went into? Wait, was that the
They went into Lambeau. They had already clinched the playoffs, and they just got killed.
What season was it when Kirk Cousins had COVID?
That was 2021. That was the Sean Mannion game.
I couldn't remember if that was Kevin O'Connell or if that was Mike Zimmer.
That was Mike Zimmer.
That was quite the game. Garrett Bradbury clutched up, but the game was far gone at that point. There was no coming back.
I think he had the longest reception that game, I'm pretty sure. It was 13 yards.
Wow.
He was
we talk about this next game. I'm actually going to look it up because I'm curious now about that. That's sad if it's true, but there's a chance it is. So next, the Vikings head out to Europe. They're set to face the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers, if he's still healthy at that point, because he's 40 years old and coming off of a torn Achilles. It's an Achilles, right? Same injury as Kirk Cousins. Torn Achilles for Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings are now 1-3 at this point on my schedule. They need to win this game. It's tough because the Jets are a good team on paper. We'll see if they can actually do it, though. But with this game being in London, I think it acts as a home game for the Vikings because there's more Viking fans than there are Jets fans out there. I'm going to go with the Vikings. They need to win this game, and they're going to come through. Give me the Vikings to win.
Joel, I'm right there with you. I think O'Connell sees this game and he says, hey, guys, this is a team that we're going up against that's either, 2-2, 3-1, whatever they might be. We really need to win this game. We need to take this home. So Vikings, definitely. It's going to be a very close game, but I think the Vikings got this one.
Give me the Jets. I think Aaron Rodgers, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. He just has that comeback player of the year mentality, and whatever he does in his darkness retreat.
Vikings always play great overseas. I think they're 4 or 5-0 in London. So I'm going to go with a win here. Beat Aaron Rodgers one last time before whenever he retires, but it's probably the last time the Vikings will play him. So,
all right, I found the box score for the Sean Mannion game. Who do you guys think was the leading rusher for the Vikings in that game?
Sean Mannion.
Yes, it was.
Gosh.
He's listed with 2 carries for 14 yards, and he's the leading rusher for the Vikings in that game.
Oh, my God.
Aaron Jones was the leading. He had 76 for the Packers. Sean Mannion threw 189 yards and a touchdown. Don't know if he had any interceptions. The leading receiver was Justin Jefferson for the Vikings. He had 58 yards. I'm trying to see I don't know if I can find the longest reception, though, but I wouldn't be surprised because it was a 21-yard reception for Garrett Bradbury. That's what listed is in the box score.
The Immaculate Reception.
Part 2.
You know who else I forget was a Viking? He had 5 catches for 47 yards in this game. I forget about this guy sometimes.
Jerry's right.
No, Tyler Conklin.
Oh,
yeah.
Forget about him. Jarius Wright, I used to love growing up. He was one of my first favorite players.
Mr.
So-
Third Down.
I used to love Teddy Bridgewater, Jarius Wright, and Cordero Patterson. Those were like watching those guys. That was good Viking football. But that's that. Well, as we continue, the Vikings have their bye week following before they come back home against the winner of the NFC North last year, the Detroit Lions. With the extra week off, I believe that the Lions are playing, I think, in Dallas against the Cowboys the week the Vikings have the bye. So tough game followed by the Vikings. I'm going to give the Vikings the win here. It's after the bye. They need to win this game. They have the extra week of rest, and the Lions just had a tough opponent ahead of them. I think the Vikings are going to be able to pull this one out in front of the Minneapolis fans.
While the Vikings probably do need to win this game, I don't see it happening. I'm going to give the Vikings the L here. Because Detroit's just such a really, really good young team. Jared Goff probably isn't going to throw more than 230 yards, but with their running backs and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, those guys are going for 200 yards. The Vikings' run defense was atrocious last year. I don't think it gets a whole lot better this year. Maybe with the addition of Greenard, Cashman, and Dallas Turner, maybe it does get better, but I just don't see it getting that much better in that short of a time period.
Is this offensive if I say that? What was I going to say here? If I say Jared Goff is the better version of Kirk Cousins, does anyone agree with that? Disagree? I feel like they're kind of similar players, but I would rather have Jared Goff. But then they're also both making 40, 50 million, which is, I think that's kind of where I get it from, is the fact that Goff just signed his like $50 million contract, but he's not that good of a player, but he's still good.
I would take Kirk.
Yeah, me too.
same here.
Okay.
I agree with Sam Z, but I feel like it'll be a close game given what Joel said coming off of that Dallas week. I feel like Detroit will come out a little sluggish, but at the end of the day, they're just more talented. They're just better than us.
Yeah, the Vikings haven't beat the Lions since early 2022. And I think it'll be a close game again, but Lions are just the better team, and I think they're gonna win.
Got it. Surprising. I'm not okay. This is very rare that I pick a win and no one else does. I don't know if that ever happened over here. Maybe it did. No, that didn't happen at all last year. So interesting. Following that, the Vikings head on the road Thursday night. Sean McVay and Kevin O'Connell. Boy, those are going to be two good-looking coaches. One of the best looks-wise, one of the best coaching battles you'll see in modern NFL.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it's true between those two guys. So we got this game. I'm going to go with a loss here. It's Thursday night. The Rams are not a great team, but they're still a fine team, I think. And just with a short week going on the road, you just played the Lions, who are a tough opponent. I don't know who the Rams play before this game, but either way, I wouldn't look for a win here. It's a tough one.
I'm actually going to go opposite of Joel on this one. I think that this is a game that the Vikings feel they need to win because they're coming out of their bye week immediately losing to Detroit. Now they're playing the Rams, who, in my opinion, are very much so a sleeper team. But at the same time, the Vikings really need a win here, and I think that they're going to go all out to get this win here. So this is definitely one that the Vikings can take home.
I feel like this game will come down to the health of Matthew Stafford because the Rams' backup, I guess we're going off of Joel's logic, a good-looking backup in Jimmy Garoppolo. But
Dude, there's gonna be a lot of good-looking dudes there in that stadium.
I don't want to watch that game with you. Anyway, if Stafford's healthy, I feel like the Rams are going to win, and I think he will be healthy. So give me the Rams. I wouldn't call them a sleeper team, but they got a group. Kyron Williams is probably one of the better running backs in the league, but one of the better young running backs, I should say. But I think the Rams are just a little bit better.
Yeah, I got to pick the Rams here too. This team is, I mean, it was a team last year that just kind of got better and better. They're really finding an identity in that run game, just honestly, kind of adopting what Michigan kind of does in the run game, where they just smash it down everyone's throat and, we're going to tire you out. And they had a great draft class grabbing Jared Verse, Blake Corum, Braden Fisk. So I think this team's going to be a team to be reckoned with this year. And I think there's a very good chance they probably have 4 or 5 wins by the time we play them. So,
also, in case any of you guys care or anyone watching cares, the Rams play the Raiders the week before, so Raiders shouldn't be too good of a team this year, I wouldn't think. So that's the game that heads into that one for the Rams, just so you guys know. Then the Vikings come back home to play the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson, will he be healthy? Will he be a fine player? Either way, I'm going to give the Vikings the win on this game. They're coming back at home. The Colts could be a decent team, but I don't see them as a super outstanding team yet. I have to see it to believe it. So I'm going to go with the Vikings in this one. Also, if I was the coach of the Vikings, this is the game where I'd start JJ McCarthy. But keep in mind that doesn't include any of like how he doesn't practice or anything. If he's performing bad, that's a different situation. If he's performing good, maybe you want to play him before because that's a different situation. But just based on straight up the schedule, this is where I would play JJ McCarthy, is starting with this game at home, coming off a Thursday night, so he's got extra time to prepare.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Joel. I think Indianapolis is, they're definitely a prove-it team this year. They have a lot of good talent, but they just have not proved that they can be an effective team just yet. And I think that this year is their chance to do that. But until then, I think the Vikings take that home.
I'm going to agree with you, too. Indianapolis was close to winning the AFC South last year, which is a very good conference now. I don't think a lot of people would have expected that given the previous years. But at the end of the day, Anthony Richardson's a good player, just a little unproven right now. Obviously, as the season rolls along, that can obviously change. But just given what we know now, I feel like coming off of 3 straight losses in my world, they come out and get a win at home.
Yeah, this game's a real toss-up. I mean, a lot of this does come down to how Anthony Richardson plays, and that the Colts team kind of relies on that, obviously. Yeah, there's a lot of varying opinions on Anthony Richardson throughout the league, and I mean, I think the Vikings are going to win this game. But that's really kind of the wild card because we haven't really seen what Anthony Richardson can really do. And if he's super good by week 9, I mean, he's obviously going to be a problem for the Vikings. So it's one of the more intriguing games, but like Joel said, that could be the JJ McCarthy game, the one where he starts for the first time. So we'll just have to see what happens. Does
anyone recall where Gardner Minshew went to?
Washington State. He initially started at East Carolina.
No, what?
Oh,
what team is he with now? Did I say that wrong? Can we roll a replay? What did I say?
He's with the Raiders. You asked him which team he's with.
Yeah, he plays for the Raiders.
You were asking which college he went to.
Oh,
I thought you wanted a deep dive history of Gardner Minshew.
I was
ready to give it
Gardner
to you.
Minshew deep dive.
That's
Maybe
crazy.
That'll be a different one though.
No, he's with the Raiders now.
Had Gardner Minshew signed with the Vikings, which I would have been a fan of, but I don't know the contract, so that does not including the contract. As a player, I would have been. I was on the Gardner Minshew train.
We did get Darnold for really cheap.
Yeah, $10 million, good deal. We're gonna look up what the Gardner Minshew one was, though. If it's anything above he got. I'm looking here. 2 years, $25 million. Oh, I would have done that for Minshew.
So?
He almost just led the Colts to the playoffs last year as their pretty much backup quarterback. I would have done 2 years, 25 for Gardner Minshew, but that's just me. So that said, now the Vikings are on the road playing the Jags, former Gardner Minshew team. And, oh man, I didn't know about this game, but I'm just going to go with a loss here. I like the Jags on paper. We'll just have to see what they do. I believe they were like first in the AFC pre-injury to Trevor Lawrence. So they were a really good team, and then the wheels kind of fell apart there, but you can't blame them. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Jags here. You're in Jacksonville. It's a tough game. They were a good team. before the injury. We'll see if they can replicate it. I wanted to say the Vikings so they could build some momentum, but I just don't know if I can do that. The Jags are, I think, a better team.
Yep, and I'll go back to kind of like what I said about Detroit. Like, it's about the run game here. Travis Etienne is one of the best running backs in the NFL right now. So I think the Vikings drop this one because I don't think they'll be able to defend the run, because Travis Etienne, that dude's a really good running back. I know Matt likes that.
Extremely well put. Watching the Jags collapse this last year, it was disappointing. I know they got to bounce back. I feel like this is a game, though, the Vikings can go into Jacksonville and take. At the end of the day, Trevor Lawrence isn't the generational quarterback we all thought he would be. He's just a good quarterback, which is a little disappointing being a Clemson guy. But, yeah, I think the Vikings can go into Jacksonville and get a win.
I like the Vikings here, too. I mean, it kind of feels like a game where we're at week 10. We're kind of 4-4, and we go in, put it all together. Maybe Trevor Lawrence has a bad game or something, or maybe he's injured at this point. I don't know. But like Matt said, he hasn't really been the absolute generational talent quarterback that everyone thought he would be. But I think this is kind of a game the Vikings can go just kind of take from the Jaguars.
So who was the Jags quarterback then when he was hurt, or did he just keep playing?
He said playing.
CJ Beathard.
Yeah, Beathard.
CJ Beathard. I feel like he's been around for like 10 years as a backup.
Yeah, Iowa quarterback.
Iowa Hawkeye legend, CJ Beathard.
You guys just know where everyone went to college.
CJ Beathard. He's
kind of
only been
hard.
around.
He's your generic white Iowa quarterback.
He was. I looked up his Wikipedia page here. He was drafted in the 3rd round of 2017's draft.
To the Niners, right?
I remember him with the Niners, yeah.
He started for a while.
He was the 6th quarterback taken that year. It says he competed for. I'm trying to read this right. I'll just read the sentence. He competed with Matt Barkley and Nick Mullins throughout training camp for the job as the backup quarterback. So who's the starter?
That would have been in 2017. That would have been Jimmy G, right? No,
or would that have been Kaepernick at the time, or would that have been post Kaepernick?
No, that might have been last year. Kaepernick. No,
Kaepernick played until 2018, I thought, didn't he?
No. There's no way. He was out of the league I thought it was after 2016, but maybe I'm crazy.
This is actually really interesting though. Colin Kaepernick last
Kaepernick to Garoppolo, right?
It looks like 2016 was his last time actually playing in the NFL in a game. Then
2017 was Jimmy Garoppolo. That's right.
Oh, yeah, because it says here 2016 was the last year with the Niners, and then he just was a free agent after that, and he got brought in for workouts, but no one signed him.
Yeah.
So 2016 was end of the Kaepernick era. Who else? He's played for the Jags. I remember him with the – oh, well, we just talked about him with the Jags. That was a very stupid comment I just made. So he's only played for those 2 teams. I feel like he's played for more, but I guess not. Well, whatever. Legend CJ Beathard. So then the Vikings head out to Tennessee to play the Titans. I'm going to give the Vikings a win. The Titans are a pretty bad team, I think. And so I'm going to go with the win. And they changed head coaches too, didn't they?
Yep.
Didn't they move on, from Mike Vrabel, which was a interesting move, but they did.
Yeah, I am also going to give the Vikings a win here. The Tennessee Titans, with the departure of Derrick Henry, they suck. They're terrible. So, yeah.
Excuse me. They got Cowboy legend Tony Pollard to fill the void.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
And that's about all they have.
Will Levis and who are their receivers?
Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, if it was like 2018, I'd be drooling.
I don't think I could name a Titan
Tyler Boyd.
Nick
yeah.
Westbrook-Akine.
Yeah.
Traylon Burks.
Madden legend, Nikhil Westbrook-Akine. I definitely said that wrong. Anyway, give me Tennessee.
Okay.
I mean, this is a Tennessee team that's gotten better. I don't think they're quite there yet. So I think the Vikings are going to take this game. And
Oh, shoot, never mind. I actually meant give me the Vikings. Sorry, never
Oh.
mind.
I might have misinterpreted you.
No, I said
No,
that
he
wrong.
said, "Give me the Titans."
Okay, I was gonna say you're
I
talking
did
so
say
high about the Titans, and then you said that. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, he's going with the
I
Titans
said
in
that
this one.
wrong. I said that wrong. I
I was
apologize.
gonna say that's a crazy take.
If it
Taking
was Big Lou,
debatably one of the worst teams in the NFL.
if it was Big Lou, no one would have questioned it. We all would have just accepted it and moved on.
Well, we did accept it and move on until he corrected himself.
All right. With that said, then the Vikings head out to Chicago for the first time to play the Bears. The Bears are improved with Caleb Williams on paper. I think it's a really good team, and people can hate me for this if they want, but you can also wait until they play later in the season to see that one. I'm going to go with the Bears in this game. On paper, they're a really good team. Obviously, Caleb Williams is still a rookie, so it depends if he can make it work and stuff, but their offense is really good if you just look at their roster. So I think the Bears at home are going to take that one.
Not only is their offense good, but their defense is also kind of underrated, in my opinion. Jalen Johnson is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. I know he said he was the best last year. He's not the best, but he has slowly become one of the better ones. The Vikings aren't going to win this game at Soldier Field.
Chicago's really unproven, but given how they look on paper, I think they'll turn around and, I don't know, contend for the NFC North. Give me the Bears.
I think the Vikings, they almost never play that good at Soldier Field, and I think it's going to take them to play pretty good to win this game, obviously. And I think when you have either Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy, a new quarterback in that environment, I just think it just looks too good for the Bears, and they're going to end up taking probably a sloppy, low-scoring type of game.
All right, so let's see what everyone's record is to this point. I'm counting mine up. 3.
Joel, I think
I've got-
yours and I's are the same because we only have one game
Okay.
difference between ours.
Yeah, I've got 5 wins and 6 losses. So
I got a
I
6
think
and
Sam's
5.
at 6 and 5. Other than that, I think everyone's 5 and 6.
got it. Perfect. With that said, the Vikings now begin a 3-game home stretch, kicking it off against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. I'm going to go with a win here. The Cardinals are not a good team. Even though they have Marvin Harrison Jr. too, which is a significant improvement, they're still not good. Vikings win at home.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joel. Kyler Murray has been disappointing, to say the least, in the last couple of years, and I think the Vikings are just going to be able to lock down Marvin Harrison and just, take this win.
Yeah, I agree. Arizona's getting a little bit better. They obviously had Marvin Harrison, but at the end of the day, that's not enough.
Yeah, I don't think the Cardinals pose much of a threat to the Vikings. Wait. Hold on.
Nah.
So I think the Vikings take that game.
So I was
Pretty
just looking. Oh, sorry.
No,
I was
That's
just going to say, after I mentioned Marvin Harrison Jr., that got me to wondering, what other Cardinals receivers do I even know? So do you guys know what other Cardinals receivers there are? I looked up a depth chart.
Rondell
you
Moore.
looked up the depth chart?
Rondell Moore got traded.
Rondell Moore is not listed on their depth chart. So
He's with the
must have got traded.
Falcons now.
Oh. What about, give me Andy Isabella.
No, he's not on the team anymore.
Dang it.
Yeah, no.
Isn't Robbie Chosen still on the Cardinals, or is
He's not listed on theirs. There's only 3 other guys I know, and one of them is only because he's a former Viking. So
Zay
really,
Jones.
2. What?
Oh, yeah, Zay
Zay Jones on
Jones.
Zay Jones is correct. I didn't know he played there.
He was released a couple weeks ago by Jacksonville.
Who's the former Viking?
Dan Chisena.
Oh,
Oh, God.
Punt gunner.
punt gunner.
And who's receiver number 4?
So this is their depth chart they have listed. Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson.
Oh,
Trying to remember who that even is. That's just a
Well,
generic
they have Zach
name.
Pascal. He's decent.
Yes, Zach Pascal is on here. I caught a ball from him at a Vikings game one time. So good for me. And then my friend also did. I have a video of that before the game. So Zay Jones, Greg Dortch. He was the other guy.
oh.
I kind of forgot
He's
about.
more of a return specialist for them.
Yeah, I at least knew the name, so that was that. Then everyone else on their team, I don't even know who they are.
Yeah, this team is
Dude, I don't know. Other
tough.
than Dan Chisena.
You guys remember the video on Twitter last year where it was like Cardinals are going 0-17 and Kyler Murray threw a ball that was very slow and it hit his receiver or the DB or whoever in the back of the head?
I
You
feel like
do
I
in
do remember that.
practice.
Hey, they have Sean Murphy Bunting. It's like their
Desmond
best
Ritter
player.
is their backup quarterback, guys.
Buda Baker.
Wearing 19 for all the turnovers he had last year in Atlanta.
Oh, come on. Did he actually have 19 turnovers?
I don't know, but that was a meme I saw.
Oh, God.
They've also
If he
got
actually had
Clayton
19
Tune.
turnovers. That would be
He
pretty
turned the
tough.
ball over a lot.
Their third
Like,
string is Cardinals
a
legend
lot.
Clayton Tune.
Clayton Tune.
Didn't he go crazy in the preseason game we went to?
Yeah.
I feel like I remember
Everyone went crazy against the Vikings pretty
bench
much
went
because that's how it
crazy.
is.
Where's Trace McSorley at?
he's a free agent. I don't think
Probably
he's on the
doing finance.
Probably doing
He's
finance.
probably a real estate agent.
real estate
he's a
Blair
free
Walsh
agent.
Real
style.
estate. I don't know. His Trace McSorley son's giving him a little money, but
He is a free
I
agent.
miss watching Trace McSorley play for the Ravens.
During that
Home
COVID
with Tyler
season, yeah.
Huntley and Lamar. Oh man, who else? Do they have any other dudes you wouldn't think is on their team? That is, you said
Cardinals?
Sean Murphy Bunting. I wouldn't have expected that.
They have Buda Baker still, I assume.
yeah, he's wanted out for years, though.
I don't blame him.
Well, when you're the best player on a terrible team, yeah.
Matt Prater, former Lions legend. He's the
Prater
kicker.
is still on the team.
Good for him. Well, that's that. All right, well, that's our random Cardinals depth chart look. Moving on, we've got week 14. The Vikings host Kirk Cousins and the Falcons, assuming he is the starter and healthy by then. This game, big one, because the Vikings are at home playing Kirk Cousins. This is going to be the Super Bowl for Kirk Cousins, going into Minneapolis and beating the Vikings, which is surprising because normally the Super Bowl for Kirk Cousins is the contract negotiations at the desk, but this time it's not. He's trying to go into Minnesota and win this game. But even though I think the Falcons are the better team, at least for sure on paper, they've got a really good offense and a pretty good defense as well. That doesn't matter to me. The Vikings are gonna win this game. They're gonna do everything in their power to beat Kirk Cousins. So the Vikings are gonna win this game. Hopefully JJ McCarthy is the starter. Imagine how legendary it'd be if the Vikings won this game. JJ McCarthy went to the locker room and then gave him a "you like that," and then I would lose it. It would be awesome if that happened.
That would be pretty sweet.
But yeah, even though I think the Falcons are a better team, Vikings are going to win this game. They're going to do everything to win this one.
You know, Joel, I'm actually going to go the opposite way. I'm going to say the Vikings lose this game. I think Kirk Cousins comes back because I think this is a noon game, is it not?
Correct.
Yes, it is a
It's
noon game. Of
Vikings
course.
got to play the noon nightmare himself. I'm sure Atlanta probably is not doing well up to this point because they're not a phenomenal team. But I think with a new head coach, they're actually going to utilize their playmakers and not, have Kyle Pitts throw the ball, which I think we saw once or twice in the last couple of years. So I think give me the Falcons on this one. Kirk comes back to Minnesota, takes a stand against the Vikings, and takes the dub here.
Joel, you're wrong about whose Super Bowl this is. This is the Vikings Super Bowl of any game, to stick it to Kirk Cousins and show him that this vision. This is. I'm sorry, I'm just getting really excited and ahead of myself. Yeah, give me the Vikings. Is that the right shade of green?
No,
Oh,
not even kind of.
shut up.
He got the spreadsheet up though.
I
Good for him.
know. Oh, I did it. I got
There
it
we
now.
go.
I'm color. I get it from my dad.
I'm going to take the
colorblind.
Falcons. I think Kirk Cousins is going to come in and carve up this defense and throw for like 300 yards. And I just think the Falcons are the better team, and they're going to come in and win this game.
You remember the last time the Vikings played the Falcons? It was not the last time they played them, but the last time they played them in Minnesota was when Kirk threw an interception on the first play.
First play of the game, and we lost 40. What was it?
That was a horrible game because the
40
Falcons were bad too, but we were bad too. So it was just bad football everywhere.
That was COVID season too, I think.
Imagine if Kirk Cousins came in and threw a pick on the first play of the game here. That would be amazing.
Deja vu.
He should do that on purpose.
That would be amazing.
It would be really funny, and the Vikings might win.
Imagine if Everson Griffin was here and just got like 3 sacks in this game. That would be
Taken to Twitter after the game.
that would be awesome. So, with that said, some of us have the Vikings winning both home games. Some of us have just one. Well, to close out the homestand, the Vikings face the Bears, who we all had them losing to for earlier in the season. Vikings had the letdown game last year on Monday night. They're going to change the narrative this time. I have them winning 2 in a row here, so let's make that 3. The Vikings actually finally show some hope, take a win, and they're not going to let what happened in last year's game happen again. So they're going to win this one, assuming it's still a Monday night game.
I think the Bears are better than we think. I think they're better than we're expecting. I think they take this one as well. I think Caleb Williams is going to be a really good quarterback. He's not going to be the next Patrick Mahomes, but he'll be a good quarterback. Plus, with the addition of Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, just can't account for every player. Can't account for every playmaker.
I agree with Sam here. I just think the Bears are going to be better. I think the hype is real in Chicago, and Caleb Williams will finally break the quarterback curse.
I think this is possibly going to be J.J. McCarthy's first prime time game, second. First one in division. I think it's a night game against the Bears. I think it's a slugfest. We get another low-scoring game, but the Vikings end up pulling this one out.
So I have the Vikings at 8-6, which I'm actually surprised I have them this high. Normally I wouldn't. So
I got them at 6 and 8.
Interesting.
I have them at 8-6 too.
Cool. That said, now we got 3 games left on the Vikings schedule. Per usual, they head out late in the season to Seattle, just like every year for the past 6 years, it feels like now. They might as well just move to the NFC North at this point because
we play Seattle all the time.
They're a regular occurrence for the Vikings now. So with that said, I am going to go with the Seahawks in this game. Vikings have momentum. I had them winning 3 in a row, but I don't have them winning 4 in a row. Seattle's always a tough place to play with the weather, and now it's December, so it's kind of cold there and probably weird and rainy / who knows what it is. The Seahawks, I don't think are a super great team, but I think they could just be kind of a sneaky, pesky team. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks on the road here.
Unless the Vikings can get their run game going, I don't think there's any way they take this game. Seattle's DBs are way too good. Their receivers are great. Their playmakers are just outstanding. I think the Vikings drop this one as well. Go down to 6 and 9.
I love to disagree. I think J.J. McCarthy leads this team. Okay, then.
Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like we go into the 12th. Are you done now?
Yeah, I'm done now.
Was
Sorry.
it the 12th man calling?
No, it's spam risk. I could have answered it on the AL. They're from Triangle, Virginia.
That's a real place.
Apparently.
I'm glad they
like
told
the
you it
Bermuda
was spam
Triangle.
risk. I wouldn't have answered that. I think we go into the 12th man and we just get the job done. I don't think Geno Smith's gonna have that, flash that he's had the last 2 years. I feel like it's a regression year.
I mean, the Vikings generally struggle in Seattle. I think going off that trend, it's going to be I think it's going to be like a close loss. Seattle probably kicks like a last-second field goal to win the game or something. But yeah, I think Seattle's a good team. I think they're probably a playoff team this year. So it's going to be interesting to see this game. I think this game could go either way, but in the end, I think home field advantage definitely plays into it. One of the loudest places to play. So I think Seattle takes this game.
Well, now we head at home against the Green Bay Packers. Two of us had them split earlier. Two of us had them losing in Green Bay. Two had us winning. I have them at 8-8 right now. So if they win these last two games, they're on the brink of a wild card. Viking fans are excited. We have a chance to make our chances better and maybe take the division away. By that doesn't mean win the division, but steal it away from like the Packers at this point. Well, guess what? All I can think about is last year. So the Packers come into Minneapolis and win this game.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you here. The Vikings, historically, I believe, have played well against Green Bay. And so I think they're going to take this one against Green Bay because, while Green Bay is, in my opinion, the better team, I think the Vikings got to beat them at home just because this is a must-win game.
I feel like that Week 17 game will be played over and over again to remind them of what happened last year, even though it was not a great quarterback situation with Jaron Hall and Nick Mullins. Just at the end of the day, this is what will fuel them to get a sweep on their division rival and potentially, I think what Joel said, swing this away from Green Bay and he'll play into the hands of Detroit.
I think the Packers are going to take this game. I had the Vikings winning at Lambeau earlier in the season, and I think they kind of split the season series with the Packers. So would set up for me probably a game against Detroit to go to the playoffs. So, yeah, I think just playing Green Bay Week 17 gives me too many flashbacks.
I love Matt giving them the Denver Nuggets treatment for the Vikings, just like how the Nuggets had the tape of everyone saying the Wolves are going to sweep them and the series is over. They're going to get that same treatment, but with the Vikings in last year's game. Also, I don't know if this is true, but I heard this. I don't know if you guys heard this. After Game 5 of the Wolves series against the Nuggets, I heard Chris Finch took $500 from each player and then put it in the rafters of the locker room in Denver and said, you guys can only get this money back if you're back here for Game 7. And then they did it. So I don't know if that's true, but I did hear that this week that he did that.
They won by 45, so I can maybe see it. That seems very exaggerated.
They wanted that money. $500 though to them is like 10 cents to me.
To Rudy Gobert, that's
Not even
nothing.
10.
He's throwing $100,000 away by giving the money symbol.
That was a good point. $500 for them is like
pocket
a quarter
change
of a cent here for me or you.
Sounds about right.
So, yeah. So that's that. Now we've got the next one. The Vikings close the season against the Lions. I believe I have them at 8-8 at this point. So probably not going to make the playoffs, but you never know. Weird things can happen. Let's see what you guys have. I think Sam Z has them maybe 1 or 2 games higher than me. No, 1 game less than me.
I'm at 7-9.
I think I'm 9-7.
I'm around that. I'm 9.
You got 8 wins, so 8-8 for Sam O. I'm also at 8-8. Matt said he's at 9-7. Sam Z said he's at 7-9. Well, to close the season, they're kind of touching that wild card a chance. Probably not, but you never know. In Detroit, the Lions with a chance probably to clinch the NFC North. Maybe they already have it. Maybe they don't. Who knows? I'm going to go with the Lions here. Even if they clinched it, I don't see Dan Campbell resting starters because he's Dan Campbell. So they bite kneecaps all 60 or not 60. Yeah, all 60 minutes of the game, all 18 or 17 games of the year, they will be biting kneecaps. So I don't see them taking a breather. The Lions are the better team on the road. End of the season. Give me the Lions.
Yeah, I'm with you. Lions, I mean, they're just a better team. And like you said, Campbell's not going to sit anybody. Come on.
Yeah, this is really the Lions. This is their window to potentially win a championship, and they're going to dominate
I think
for the next few years.
Vikings go into Ford Field and exercise some demons and get the win here, putting them at 9-8. So I'm going to pick the Vikings.
Awesome. So we look here. I know I had them at 8 and 9, I believe, unless my math was wrong. I'm pretty sure I had 8 and 9, so we'll put that in here. By the way, you have to put an apostrophe before the numbers, or else it turns into a date. So just so you folks are aware. Sam O said his computer died, so we're gonna kick him off screen for a minute here while he comes back. So I feel like that's like the second or third time that's happened to him before. Does he just never plug in his computer, or maybe his computer just can't handle it? I don't know. So yeah, let me see what I have in division. I've got 0-1, 1-1, 1-2, 2-2, 2-4. All right, so there you go, folks. That is our end of season predictions. We go from a highest record of
17-0.
17-0 from Big Lou, except he's not here. But we know if Big Lou was here, he would have 17-0 because he's Big Lou. So we go anywhere from 7-10 to 9-8. So pretty consistent here. Range last year, you can see those were our predictions last year. We had optimist boy Big Lou here going 12-5.
We were really optimistic last year because I think after going 13-4 or whatever we went, yeah.
So that's that. With that said, I think we can probably move into predictions now and then close it up after that. So here we move to predictions. Okay, perfect. The screen changed with it. That's what I'm looking for. So here we go. So predictions. We've got only a couple things that came off the board, mostly in red, but we will see. I'll kick it off with mine. I said the Wolves would beat the Nuggets in 7, and they did, surprisingly. Looked very hopeless for a while at the end, but they were able to pull it off and beat the Nuggets in 7. I also said the Vikings and Falcons game would be played on Sunday night. It could get flexed into Sunday night, but I'm not looking for the loopholes on the initial schedule release. It'll be Sunday night, and it was not. It's a noon game. Of course it is. Kirk Cousins loves his noon games. So that's that for me. We look over here. Sam Z and Big Lou both had nothing. Big Lou's not going to have a prediction for a while since he's gone, but that's okay. Matt over here had 2 come off.
You wanted me to read them? Wow.
Do you want me to read them, or you?
No, I can read them.
Okay.
So the Vikings would have 3 primetime games. I think they only had 2. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Because we specified we didn't count London as primetime, so
yeah,
they had just 2.
Does it make count if they flex it by any chance or no?
Oh, if you want.
I guess it doesn't matter. I thought of that.
Granted, we should have specified that when the predictions were made. We should have specified whether it's initial schedule release or flexing. If you want, no, we can take it off and keep it on there.
Just given my record, I would like to still give that a chance.
If a game gets flexed, that will become correct. Or if it becomes flexed the other way, it could be more wrong. But we'll see. So we're going to leave that one in there.
Exactly.
We're going to leave that prediction on the board.
Then I said the Nuggets would win in 6, and it looked likely until the Timberwolves finally decided to play Timberwolves basketball.
Mm-hmm. Over here we got
And Sam O said the same exact thing I did. And
He said
he said the Wolves
said
would
Wolves
win in
in six.
6.
He said
They
Wolves
won
in
in
6
7.
instead of Nuggets in 6, and it was Wolves in 7, so not quite. We look over here at the prediction or at the standings. Currently, I'm in first place right now, followed by Big Lou. He's only had 2 come off though, so he doesn't really count at this point. Followed by Sam O, who's got 42%. Good for him. Followed by Sam Z at 20, and Matt is only 1 for 11 now, so his just went up a little bit. So
Oh, heck yeah.
1 for 11. That is 9.09%. So
Heck yeah.
you just got a prediction raise, 9.09.
It's usually how my Spanish test grades look, too.
Isn't that how all your grades looked?
No, shockingly, no.
Wow.
I made the Dean's list. Granted, it's St.
Everyone
Cloud
makes
State,
the
so that's
Dean's
not
list.
saying anything. Sam O'Brien didn't.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because he's also
He didn't. Okay.
he's not going to watch your
slander
podcast,
people.
so I can say this about him. He also has a GPA of like 2.0, so not he has like a GPA of that. I know he has a GPA of 2.0, and he would
That's
get mad at me
unlucky.
for saying that, but he's not here to defend himself, and he doesn't watch this podcast, so I can say whatever I want about my roommate.
That's unfortunate.
He also graduated high school with a 2.0, and he claims he was the lowest in the class. He said that 101 people graduate from his high school. I don't know if you guys, I know Matt knows where it is. I don't want to oust him on here, so I'll put it in the private chat where he went. But
Okay. Let's just
he had
dox him real
101
quick.
people in his graduating class, and he claims he finished 101st. So
Yikes.
graduated. But you know, it's one of those schools you could expect. And
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So that was where my roommate went. Put it in the
I don't
chat.
even think like it's that all of those kids are that smart. I think it's literally just like their school is that easy.
Yeah. Are they just like an easy private school, we'd say? 'Cause it's-
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Granted,
I'm
well,
not even gonna like.
Matt also
wonder
went
it.
to that
I'll
school
agree
too.
with you there.
Oh, whoops.
Matt, what was your
I
high
didn't
school
mean to
GPA?
3.5.
3.5.
Very skewed.
What's your college GPA?
3.8.
3.8?
Yeah.
It's better than in high school. Wow.
No, I'm shocked by it too. My freshman year, I had a GPA of like 2.7. And then after that, it was 3.8 and higher. So that kind of really skewed it.
Okay.
In high school, we're saying.
Yeah, in high school. I took Spanish and I got a D-.
That is impressive. Wow.
I know. I somehow passed. I was proud of that.
What Spanish was it? Like what level?
Spanish 2. Dude, I wasn't good. I'm sorry. And I'm putting it out for everyone to hear. Yeah, I was not good at a foreign language. I should have done what my sister did and did sign language.
Oh,
Don't worry.
that would have been smart. ASL is more applicable
So they didn't offer it until I was already in Spanish 2, so
Nobody's gonna watch this podcast at the 1 hour and 3 minute mark, so you're safe. You're
anyone
safe
watch-
from all the aggregators and the
Oh
tournament.
my gosh, he's so stupid. Anyway, they see the 1 for 11 predictions, like, it makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. No wonder he had a 2.7 in high school or in freshman year of high school.
Freshman year of high school, I want to make that very clear. I was not a bright kid then. I'm still not now, but
Mm-hmm. So with that said, now we got some new predictions here. If anyone wants to start, they can. Otherwise, I can just start and we can go left to right like we usually do. All right, we can just do that. So my first one, I kind of love how this is a football podcast, but over the past few weeks now, we've kind of transitioned into making Wolves predictions too, because they're the relevant team around here. So per usual, the other day I came in here and I made a Wolves prediction. The Wolves will beat the Mavs in 7 games. I originally had it as 6. Now I'm going to give it 7. Either way, I still think the Wolves are going to win this series. They're the better team.
just rip them all off one by one real quick.
Yeah, if I want, I can. So
That's
earlier
cool.
today, I was thinking of predictions, and I was thinking, what can I do? Then I realized I'm kind of high on the NFC North this year. They're a really good division. So both of my last 2 predictions are about that. My second prediction is at least 3 NFC North teams will make the playoffs. And my third prediction, all 4 NFC North teams will finish in the top 10 for the NFC record-wise. So some tough ones to do when it's your own division because you're playing each other so often. But I'm just really high on this division. The Vikings could be a scrappy team, but I don't see them being too stellar this year because it's kind of a transition year. Packers are good, I think. Lions are good. Bears could be good as well. Just a good division, good football here. You know what I thought about the other day? You guys remember like the NFC East in like 2020? That needs to be studied, how bad they were. That was where like Washington football team was like 7-9 and they won the division.
Oh yeah.
Everyone is just god awful. That needs to be studied. How they were how everyone was that bad. That was bad
That was
football.
the year after the Eagles won the Super Bowl too, right? Or was it 2 years after?
The Eagles won in 2017.
In 17? Oh, I thought it was 18. Okay, well then
It was
3 years
17.
after, but still.
Right, that would have been the season the Vikings made their run too.
That's right,
2017.
yeah.
So no, that was just bad football. Who was the Eagles coach? Was Doug Peterson still their coach during the bad Eagles era?
When they won the Super Bowl.
Well, I know that. When was Nick Sirianni? I feel like he's been around a couple years, but not a whole lot.
I think 2 years ago was his first year. I think he's coming into his third year.
Yeah, that's right.
That makes sense. Was there a coach between Doug Peterson, or was it Doug
No.
Peterson straight to
I don't think so.
Sirianni? I think it was straight to, but who knows? So there you go. Those are my predictions right there.
All right. So I guess I'll go with my second prediction first, since it's more applicable to Joel.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say that the Wolves win over the Mavs in 6. I know that means that they got to go 4-1 in these next 5 games, but I think they got it.
To all the Wolves fans, I would not panic about last night. I'm not panicking whatsoever about last night's game. It was a game one. It was a true game one where you're feeling each other out and trying to figure out what each team is doing.
Yeah.
Unlike, Phoenix, the Wolves had played them like the week before and more recently too. The Nuggets, the Wolves are just acclimated to the Nuggets because they've played each other so much over the past couple of years. The Wolves and Mavs haven't played each other that much. I have no fear. The Wolves are still the better team. They're going to come out way better in game 2, and they're going to win that game. So no fear, Wolves fans. Sam Z, are you a Wolves fan now? Because me, Matt, and Sam O have been fairly consistently now making Wolves predictions on here.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if you ever really watched them or cared about them at all.
I have not watched a Wolves game until the Suns series. That was the first Wolves game I've watched in, probably like 3 years. It's been a long time since I've watched the Wolves, but now I'm watching every game. So
up until like last year, I don't remember the last time I'd ever watched a full Wolves game. Up until probably last season.
Yeah.
They're just historically bad. Why do you want to watch them?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. This is like, it's another Minnesota sports team, but now that they're like really good, now I'm on the bandwagon. So got to hop on at some point, right? All right. Prediction number 1 for me was that in games that he plays, JJ McCarthy is going to average 230 plus passing yards. So I think that in every game that he plays, whether that be every game this season, whether it be 7 games this season, I don't know. But I think he's going to average over 200 or at least 230 passing yards every game. And then prediction number 3 is that Mekhi Blackmon will have at least 3 interceptions this year. I think that he solidifies himself as a starter, and if not a starter, a heavy rotational guy. And I think that with him having the 1 interception last year after only playing just a couple games, I think that he's got some elite talent, and I think he's going to be a really, really good corner for us for a lot of years.
Sorry to interrupt, but your prediction here, your JJ McCarthy one, that reminded me. Matt, didn't you make a prediction one time about, wasn't it like Desmond Ridder or someone, that X player will have like over 200 yards passing and everyone clowned on you for it because it was a layup and then it didn't happen? I feel like that happened last year.
Yeah, that definitely did happen. But I don't like to live in the past.
We looked up, you said like X player would have over 200 yards passing, and his average passing per game was like 240 yards or something. We're like, bro. But it still didn't happen, so you're right. I have to look back at that, but I feel like that happened one time, and it was really funny. So his JJ McCarthy one made me think about that prediction, how funny it was.
All right, sticking with the Wolves theme and sticking with my theme of predicting these series. Dallas will win in 6. I made these predictions on Monday.
He did. I can confirm. I went in here on Monday early afternoon, and I saw that one was already in there. I saw all of them already in there.
I said Phoenix would win in 6, and I also said the Nuggets will win in 6. So let's just keep that train going. The second prediction goes back to football, but it's more of the college realm. Early Heisman pick here. Jackson Dart of Ole Miss.
I like that.
The Heisman
like
Trophy. Look, Ole Miss just has such a high-powered offense. Their defense can just be a little bit, I don't know, SEC ready.
They got that. They killed it in the transfer portal, too. Lane Kiffin's putting in some work. So.
They lost Judkins to the bag at Ohio State, but I think it doesn't really matter who you plug in at running back there. They'll dominate, and Jackson Dart, they love running the ball. I think he'll have a great year. And finally, Vikings will go 9-8. I made sure my regular season picks today made the math go out to 9-8. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Can't wait to see 3 Reds on those later on.
Wolves in 7. That's my pick. That's my prediction. First prediction. I got 2 Wolves predictions on here because I don't know.
Awesome.
I couldn't think of any other Vikings ones.
That's okay.
I think JJ McCarthy will start less than half the season. So I think Sam Darnold's probably going to play quite a bit. There's a realm where I easily see Sam Darnold playing the entire season. So I think JJ McCarthy will sit till he's ready. I think they're going to kind of let him, even when he's ready, sit a little longer because they want to be fully certain. That's how KOC kind of are. If any Wild fans are out there, kind of like what the Wild are doing with Wallstedt. Just kind of letting him overbake, letting him sit for a while. So I think
slow cooker.
Yes. And then I think Nickeil Alexander-Walker will have at least one 20-point game against Dallas. He's been he started off the Sun series. The first Sun series, he was amazing. First 2 games of the Denver series, he was amazing. And then ever since, he's kind of fallen off. And last night, he wasn't good either. So I think he'll bounce back. And I think one of these games where the Wolves win, I think it'll be because Nickeil has a 20-point game. So that's my final prediction.
I thought about making a Jaden McDaniels prediction. I considered it.
I really hate to butt in right now, but I have some very important news that I just saw on Instagram from a semi-reliable source. You know who is apparently being considered for a role in the MCU? In Marvel.
I did see that the other day.
I don't know how true it is, but apparently she had a meeting with Marvel boss Kevin Feige to discuss a role in the MCU for Blonde Phantom.
I'm going to self-report and say I've never watched a Marvel movie.
What?
I watched the first Avengers movie.
Oh, come on, guys.
My movie and TV watching is like nothing. I've never seen any Marvel. I've never seen any DC or whatever.
You have to watch Star Wars.
Okay, there's one movie I will say I've seen, and I don't know which one it goes into. I did watch The Joker. I saw that movie in class in high school.
Oh,
I did. Okay, I did watch Joker.
It was a good movie.
That's not really Marvel. It's really a remake.
No,
Joker's DC.
Joker was a good movie, though. I will say
it was a remake.
I don't know
which Joker you see though.
I don't know if I could get into like anything else, but Joker.
Did you see the Heath Ledger one?
Yeah. Oh no, it was the recent one, the one with Joaquin Phoenix. That was a good movie though. Then
I liked it.
I've never seen Harry Potter or Star Wars.
Joel, come on.
I can attest. I've never seen Harry Potter either.
What about Star Wars?
No.
Come on, you guys don't have any free time to watch movies?
I do. I just don't watch.
I'm just not interested in like those kind of
the
things.
new Shane Gillis
Oh.
show on Netflix. I'm gonna watch this when we wrap up.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay,
probably
that's
have to
fair.
tune in.
I've been watching Young Sheldon recently because for some reason everyone in our UTVS group chat's just fallen in love with Young Sheldon.
I watched every season in like 6 days when I found that show.
What?
And I just
It's good. I finished the first season in 2 days. I'm gonna take a break to watch Tires.
What platform is that show on?
Netflix. And then their last season, they just aired the last episode like last week.
I did watch the last episode. That was.
I might have to dabble into it because I've seen
It's
things about it,
real.
but I never actually watched the show.
It's a super good show. I love it.
Yeah.
God.
I don't like the spin-off idea, to be completely honest, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm optimistic about it.
What are other like famous movies or shows or franchises that I've never seen? Pretty much
Avatar?
Oh, I've never seen that.
Me neither.
I haven't seen Avatar. I just thought of it.
Let's go to the top 100 movies of all time.
And let's see which ones we've seen.
Yeah.
I like that.
That was a good idea.
We'll go to IMDb because they are the best movie ranking.
Also, Apple Music's, you see their top 100 album list that came out.
You guys see what number 7 was? Good Kid,
Good
Mad
Kid,
City, Kendrick
City.
Lamar.
Graduation. I don't remember where that ranked, or even if it did make it. But Lauryn Hill finished at number 1, and the response on Twitter was hilarious because a bunch of 17-year-olds called her a nobody, and that went really well.
That's nice.
So if we do top 10 movies, start at like 15 or 20, and then we'll go from that to like 1 because we're not going to go through.
Well, I'll go through the relevant ones. So has anyone seen The Dark Knight?
No.
Nobody? I've never seen that either. What about Schindler's List? Has anyone seen that?
No.
That's
I want to watch.
Great movie about the
I
Holocaust.
want to watch that.
It's really good. Lord of the Rings. Has anyone watched Lord of the Rings? Or
Never seen the franchise.
No.
Never seen it.
Jeez. What about 12th Fail? I've never even heard of this.
Never heard of it.
10. What the heck? I've never even heard of that. Inception?
Never seen it.
No. Forrest Gump?
Okay, I have seen Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump is good. That's number 13. Interstellar?
I saw it in class.
I've never seen it before.
I've seen Interstellar. That's a good movie.
I've never seen that one.
Let's see. The Matrix?
I've seen my dad watch it.
I've never seen
it.
What about the Dune movies? Has anyone seen those?
No.
Try
Dune
watching.
Dune is currently ranked 21 of all time.
Is Dune the one where there was just a commercial or one of the Dune movies? I just saw a commercial, I thought, for...
There was a commercial for part 2.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. I was going to say, that name is familiar because I saw a commercial the other day. No, I haven't seen it.
Has anyone seen Saving Private Ryan? That's
That's
actually, no, I haven't.
That's a great World War II movie.
Such a good movie.
That one, yeah, that's a really good one.
Where does 1917 land on that list?
1917. I haven't seen that. Yet,
that's a great war movie.
That one's also really good. Yeah. What about Gladiator? Has anyone seen that?
No.
Jeez. Back to the Future. You guys have had to have seen Back to the Future.
I've seen the first one.
Right?
Yeah, we've seen
at least any of them.
Are we sure The Good Burger is not going to be on this list?
I'm pretty sure.
Because that was a great movie.
Oh, God. Okay. Everyone's seen The Lion King, I hope, right?
Which version?
The OG.
Okay, yeah.
I probably have. I don't remember seeing it, though. That's the one thing I'll say. Me with like a lot of Disney movies, I'm really bad when it comes to Disney movies. I've probably seen a lot of them. I just don't remember ever seeing some of them.
Okay, there's a movie called The Intouchables, but they did a remake of it with Kevin Hart, and it was called God, I don't remember, but it's about this guy that's like a quadriplegic, and then Kevin Hart is like his caretaker or whatever. Have you guys ever seen that?
It sounds familiar.
I can't remember what the Kevin Hart version is called. I don't know.
Ride Along.
It's really good. Geez, a lot of these movies were from like 30s.
You telling me Madam Web is not on this?
Number 61 is Joker.
Heath Ledger or
The 2019. So no.
That's the only one though. I thought all the Heath Ledger ones were only just Batman films, and he's just in them. That's what I
Could
thought.
be.
I thought that was the only one that was like Joker specific. There's gonna be a second one though. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, Lady Gaga will be Harley Quinn.
Has anyone seen Oppenheimer?
Yes,
No, I have not.
that was a good movie.
I've never seen it before. I should watch that though. Yeah, there's a lot of Star Wars on here. Toy Story is in here.
Have seen them all.
You've seen them all?
I
I
have
haven't
seen them
seen
all.
Toy Story 4.
I saw the fourth one in theaters. I think. when
Toy
it came
Story
out.
is 95. Toy Story 3 is 97. Okay, that's your top 100 for relevant movies. Unless anyone's seen like The Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
That's a
That's
great
the
actually
number
haven't.
one movie of all time.
that
Right
might be my
after
favorite
IMDb.
movie of all time.
That's my
Terrific.
favorite movie.
I don't know. The Lorax is up there too with
Dog.
great movies.
But Joel, have you ever seen The Shawshank Redemption?
No.
If you have time, watch it.
If you go on
It's-
Paramount Network, if you get that, they usually show it.
Over the
Seriously.
summer, I might have to. I'll have to
It's so
indulge
good.
into it.
Star Wars franchise is also really good, but you got to watch it 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
Well, how would that even make sense though?
Okay, so 4, 5, and 6. It was created kind of weird, but it makes sense if you look into it enough. Okay, so 4, 5, and 6 were made first. So I believe 4 was made in like 1977, and then I think 1 was made in like either 99 or like 2000 or something like that. It goes like 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then the new 3 you don't have to watch those. Those ones are terrible. But yeah,
I'm still gonna watch 0 of them. So
sad.
no,
Yes,
they're not.
criminal
They're not for
activity.
me. They just.
Whatever. You can live your sad life.
I do, and I will. They just don't interest me.
You haven't seen The Kissing Booth? Seriously?
Oh God, no.
That's
No.
unfortunate.
Watch Step Brothers though. Did we tell you about that, Matt?
You did.
Oh,
Step
my
Brothers
God.
is a
My roommate
classic. Talladega
Sure, made
Nights.
me watch it.
They're remaking.
That's probably my
They're
favorite.
making a
movie.
sequel to Happy Gilmore.
That's stupid. They shouldn't.
I just watched Happy Gilmore the other day. Great movie.
I don't know if any of you guys are like big Adam Sandler fans, but he just came out with Murder Mystery 2 not too long ago.
And Murder Mystery 1 wasn't really.
Murder Mystery 2 is better in my opinion, but
Oh man.
well, does that about wrap her up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we touched them all today.
Yeah.
Pause.
Okay, I see where we went. We circled the bases.
Yep, we got to first base and then to second base.
That was a good one.
Oh, I didn't even realize how bad that sounded.
Matt, come on, man. You touched them all.
Only a dirty mind would go that far. And you,
Not
sir-
even. Not even. Sam was thinking it. I know he was. I saw that smirk on his face the second you said that.
We touched.
Touched them all.
I'm gonna screen record that and put it in the group chat, and we're gonna watch everyone's reaction to see who reacted
if you can
first.
tell how immature we all are, well, there you go.
So
Yeah, but I think Matt's right. We did touch them all today. So
yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching today's episode where we went through the Vikings schedule, did some predictions, and talked about movies for a while. Maybe next time, maybe over the summer, we can just do like a movie discussion podcast. If
movie
we
discussion podcast.
because like from like the second week of June to the last week of July is like the only dead period in the NFL where there's nothing going on. Maybe we can find something because last year during the summer, if anyone was watching this podcast, we just kind of died. Well, we didn't die, but the podcast died for like a 3-month period. There was like no episodes.
Like nothing.
A, there was nothing to talk about. B, we were just busy and it didn't work out. Also, this was before we filmed online. We still did in person. So if it didn't work for people to come in person, we just wouldn't film at all. So, but maybe over the summer we can do some of that. We can bring back, maybe we can do some movies and we can podcast about anything we want and make it entertaining.
Exactly.
We could do an all Minnesota sports podcast, except no one can watch the Twins. So not the Twins right now.
Oh, you can still follow them.
I don't know the last time I actually watched a Twins game. It's been a while now.
I've still been watching a few of them on Stream East, but it's just kind of tough to watch the games. A lot of them are like midday, and I'm busy doing stuff.
Mm-hmm. There's one thing I think. This is one thing I think about baseball that I don't know if I think about as much other sports, but I think it's because baseball is just kind of a more boring sport. There's less action going on. I can't just sit down for 2.5 or 3 hours and just watch a baseball game without doing something. I feel like I'm just going to get bored or waste my life away. I feel different, though, about football, basketball, and hockey because there's always action or something's always going on in those games. Whereas in baseball, there's a lot more of nothing. So, yeah, that's just kind of my opinion on baseball and the sport and watching a game. I have to do something. I can't just sit and watch, but whatever. Either way, that does it for this episode. Thank you guys all for watching. We will be back hopefully next week. Maybe we can find a time or something that'll work. Either way, we'll see you guys again soon. Have a good day and peace out. And as always, SKOL Vikings. See you guys soon.